KUAM News Decision 2026 Primary Gubernatorial Forum is made possible from our partners, Docomo Pacific and the Magic of Anthony Reed at Encore Theater, located at the Crown Plaza Resort, Guam.
Buenas Tanhafade and welcome to the Encore Guam Theater at the Crown Plaza Resort, Guam and Spa on beautiful Tumon Bay, the home of the Magic of Anthony Reed, and welcome to the first of 2 gubernatorial forums for Decision 2026. I'm Jason Siles with KUAM, and I'm proud to be your moderator for this evening events. At this time, we call upon the talented youth from the Chief Furao Academy for a bendisyon, a traditional Tsumoto blessing in our island's native tongue. Ladies and gentlemen, my friends, my fellow Guamanians, it is my great privilege to introduce the Republican teams for this evening's political forum. Please give a warm half-a-day welcome first to the Honorable Vice Speaker of our 38th Guam Legislature, Tony Ada. And joining him on the left side of your stage, his running mate, E.J. Calvo. Also vying for your vote in this August primary election, the Honorable Speaker of the 38th Guam Legislature, Frank Blas Jr. And his running mate, Dr. Mary Okada. Ladies and gentlemen, we would ask at this time that we all rise as an island family and kindly remove your headgear as we honor our nation and our island with the singing of our national anthem and the Guam hymn. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Kindly take your seats. So half a day and welcome once again, and thank you for being part of the first of KUAM's 2 gubernatorial forums in preparation for the Decision 2026 primary election. Tonight, we all will consider the personalities, the plans, the platforms, and the promises that the teams who want to represent Adelup have. You will hear directly from our candidates here on stage who have given us graciously some of their time and share with us some of the work that we wish to do. Also joining us tonight are several community organizations who will be sharing their thoughts with the candidates tonight. So to all of the groups who are joining us tonight, thank you for your time and thank you for your participation. All right, let's now hear from our guests, the teams themselves, for an introduction about their campaigns. And prior to our show, both teams did a ceremonial coin flip to determine who their order, and the Adelup team won that coin flip. They chose heads, and heads came up, and they elected to go first. So, Vice and Mr. Calvo, you have 2 minutes for your opening statement, please.
Thank you, Jason. Hoppaday, and thank you to our host, KUAM, and to everyone joining us tonight. I'm Tony Atta, and I'm honored to be here with my wife, Annette, our son Vicente, and my children who are watching, my grandchildren who are watching from home. I'm a proud Army veteran, a small business owner, and had the privilege of serving the people of Guam in the legislature for 6 terms. Throughout my life, I learned that leadership is about service above all. I'm running for governor because I love Guam, and I believe our island deserves better leadership. The truth is, Guam is not lacking opportunity. We are not lacking funding. We are not lacking what we are lacking is management of our funds. We are lacking in execution, and we are lacking in accountability. Our administration will restore trust and make every agency is focused on delivering results. We will strengthen our economy, reduce the cost of living, and create opportunities so our children can build their futures right here at home. We will improve our government that can effectively manage, prioritize, and deliver once again. The Adelup administration will get our house in order. Thank you. And tonight, we look forward to this forum discussion.
Hoppaday. I'm EJ Calvo, and I'm proud to be running for Lieutenant Governor along with Tony Atta. I'd like to thank my wife, Jackie, and my children, and of course, my parents for being here tonight. I love you guys. As a businessman, I've spent a career solving problems and bringing people together to make things happen. As a former chairman of GITA, we cultivated the growth of our economy, created jobs, and completed projects for the benefit of our island. Tony and I will take action and bring positive change that our people have been waiting for. We are ready to get to work, and with your help,
That's the time,
we
Mr.
will
Calvo.
put Guam first once again. Thank you.
And now with their opening remarks, the team of Frank Blas Jr. and Dr. Mary Okada. For you, you have 2 minutes for the both of you.
Well, thank you, Jason, and thank you to all for being here. Hoppaday. I'm Frank Blas. Guam is standing at a decisive moment. We are either on the brink of financial catastrophe or at the doorstep of economic recovery and long-term prosperity. And the difference will be determined by what we choose to do now. Our island cannot prosper in the way the government operates today. It puts pressure on businesses, strains families, and undermines the stability we need to grow. And if we fail to act now, the costs will be felt across our island. But if we confront these challenges, we can secure a stronger future. That means lowering the cost of living, owning a home, healthcare that will be there when you need it, a cleaner and safer community, and building an economy with the collaboration and strength of our people. That is why I'm running for governor, and I have Dr. Mary Okada as my running mate. With our combination of tested and trusted leadership, we know that we have the know-how and experience to make Guam better.
Hoppaday, and good evening to all, and to thank you to all the Republicans who are here supporting our teams. My name is Dr. Mary Ann Young Okada, the retired president from the Guam Community College after serving 30 years in the government of Guam. I chose to run with Frank Blas because I see what a good governor's characteristics need to be. Frank is compassionate. Frank is decisive, but he encourages and listens to people. When Guam experienced its darkest moments, Frank chose to help the people. He's the toughest person and the right person to fight crime. but he's also a compassionate leader. COVID changed our lives over the past several years, and we've not recovered. Together with our combined experience and strength, we are ready to lead our community back to better days through a stronger economy. Si Diyos Masi.
Thank you, Dr. Okada. And Si Diyos Masi to all four of you for giving us some of your time here this evening. And ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned, because when we come back, we will get to the reason why we are all come here tonight. We'll get to our questions and consider some of the topical issues our island faces. You will learn why these distinguished Guamanians want to represent us in Adelup and how they intend to do it. Please stay tuned.
Afade, I'm Jesse Michael Anderson Lujan, the proud husband to my beautiful wife, Mary Ann Suyao Lujan, and the loving father to Ryan, Jessica, and Jezreel Sky. I am a proud alumni of the John F. Kennedy High School class of 1973. I studied political science at Grossman College and San Diego State University. While I fell short of completing college, I never stopped gaining knowledge, and I took lessons from the real world and turned that into a lifetime of hard work. And I never stopped believing that experience and perseverance can make a real difference for an individual and the people of Guam. Every day, I carry with me the values that shape my life. And today, I have the honor of serving you as your Senator and Majority Leader for the 38th Guam Legislature. Today, I humbly ask you for your continued support and vote as I seek re-election for the 39th Guam Legislature. I'm Jesse Michael Anderson Lujan. I'm leading Guam, engaging the world, and I approve this message because Guam deserves a government that clears the way and not stands in it.
Guam is resilient, but today, too many families are being stretched thin. Costs are rising faster than paychecks. Neighborhoods don't feel as safe as they should. Healthcare is harder to access, and for many, opportunity feels just out of reach. That's not the future we should accept. When Guam has faced its hardest moments, Frank Blas Jr. has been there, leading, from guiding recovery after Super Typhoon Pangsangwa, to serving as Guam's first Homeland Security Advisor, to strengthening public safety and emergency preparedness. He's built a career on protecting our people and delivering results when it matters. He understands how to make government respond, act, and serve. Dr. Mary Okada has spent her life expanding opportunity. As a nationally recognized education leader, she has helped thousands of students gain the skills to succeed, whether in the workforce, higher education, or public service. Her work has strengthened Guam's workforce pipeline, supported economic growth, and opened doors for the next generation. She knows that investing in people, education, job training, and community health is how we build a stronger island. Together, they bring proven leadership across the issues that matter most. Safer communities, a stronger, more prepared government, better access to healthcare, real pathways to good-paying jobs, and an economy that works for local families, not against them. They don't just talk about solutions, they've delivered them. This election comes down to one question: who is ready to lead on day one? With a record of service, results, and leadership Guam can trust, Frank Blas Jr. and Mary Okada are ready. Frank Blas Jr. for governor, Dr. Mary Okada for lieutenant governor. Tested, trusted leaders. Ready on day one.
Paid for by President Frank and Mary. Peter LG, Treasurer.
When families feel safe, communities grow stronger. Senator Chris Duenas passed the Malig Act to put more officers on our streets and confront the meth crisis hurting too many of our people. He led efforts to expand affordable housing through the additional dwelling unit and advanced nitrate bills. And now he is authoring his second balanced budget that protect essential services while supporting private sector jobs. Steady leadership, real results. Re-elect Chris Duenas. He's focused, balanced, and ready.
I'm Chris Duenas, and I approve this message.
He has that innate talent of even the most difficult times, giving comfort, giving solace, bringing stability. In my 64 years, there are people I've known that have passed away, and there's been Tony that has been there to comfort the family and the loved ones, sometimes the most difficult times of their lives. He could better this community as a public servant, but bring people together, even people with divergent thoughts and philosophies, but in the end, bringing enough comfort, enough stability to a situation that there's a consensus and then resolution and progress that is made. So, I'm so excited. I've seen what a great job Tony's done now back in the legislature, but I do believe that with him as governor, that ability to bring people together, to bring folks even with different perspectives together. Each of these island needs. God bless Adelup 2026. God bless Guam.
I'm Tony Ada, and I approve this message.
Day once more, everybody, and welcome back to the first of two discussions featuring the gubernatorial teams, starting with those in the Republican Party of Guam. Now, everybody, with respect to the questions that we are going to ask them, here's the format. Each of these teams will be presented with a series of questions about topical issues that face our island. Some come from my colleagues at KUAM News, several more from the special interest groups that have joined us here to pose the topics directly and in person. But we're going to start with some questions from those of us who cover island news every day. These are from my colleagues in the newsroom. And once again, each gubernatorial team has 90 seconds to comment. We start with the Ada and Calvo team. For years, the construction, gentlemen, of a new hospital has been the contentious issue. We all agree we need a new public medical facility, but sticking points both legally and in public scrutiny have been its location and its financing. Now, millions have been invested to purchase the Mangilao site, and federal pandemic funds have been obligated for utilities, and the current administration is looking to the private market and federal partners for more funding. Even last week, the governor made it clear the new hospital will be built in Mangilao, and whoever wins the election must move it forward. So the question, gentlemen, will you support the ongoing hospital project in Mangilao? If not, what is your specific plan to build a new hospital? Where shall it be, and how will it be financed? Gentlemen, you have 90 seconds.
Thank you, Jason. I think what we need to do first is to stabilize the current Guam Memorial Hospital. We need to make sure that we got the staffing, the equipment, the supplies that is needed to keep that hospital going for the next 5 to 7 years, because we know a new hospital will not be ready in that time. In reference to the Manila location, they had a site dedication recently. However, there is still no definite plans as to if it's going to be there or not. They still need to do environmental assessment. They still need to get permitting. They still need to find out other issues within the property. As you know, that earlier in the year, they said they had some sinkholes in that area, and if that issue has been addressed. So those are the things that still need to be remedied before a final decision is made. And if they turn dirt before this administration leaves, then perhaps that may be the location. But if not, those are things that, again, we need to make sure that we assess properly before we move forward with any location.
Either way, the Adelup administration will ensure that we move with the best interest of the island in mind and make sure we do get a new hospital for our people. But like Senator Ada said, we need to stabilize GMH, and that's our first priority. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. To the Blas Okada team, same question. Will you support the ongoing hospital project in Mangilao? If not, what's your plan to build a new one? Where will it be, and how will it be financed? 90 seconds, please.
Well, first off, I think that I've always been clear with my concern about the healthcare system that surrounds the hospital. Even if we were to build a hospital, no matter where it's at, the system that surrounds the hospital and that's within the hospital has to be fixed, because whatever we want to do in 5 to 7 years, it's not going to be ready for 5 to 7 years. And we need a hospital that our people can go on. Last time I checked, we can't put a moratorium on heart attacks and childbirth. So we got to make sure that we have a hospital that's to do this. One of the things that's missing out of this whole conversation is how are we going to pay for this? How are we going to pay for this, with the kind of funding that we already have, what we already see as to what funding is available? And will that funding match what the governor, wants to perceive or build for hospital? And so if she breaks the ground, as was stated by Senator Ada, there are still a number of assessments and studies that still need to be done before we can be certain that it's going to be there. If anything to add?
Just to add that the issue of the hospital should not divide our community. So it's very important to engage with the community and all stakeholders to develop a win-win situation for all of us. The hospital is necessary for all of us. We're all getting older, and we need a new hospital.
All right, thank you very much. And let's stay on this side of the stage for this next question. We'll start with the Blas and Okada team. Senators in the 38th legislature, to include both of the incumbents that are joining us tonight, voted to lower the business privilege tax from 5% to 4%. This was, of course, intended to provide relief to local businesses, but warned it would lower revenue for critical agencies. The question is, What's your plan to ensure critical GovGuam agencies like GDOE and the Guam Memorial Hospital that we were just talking about are not shortchanged this upcoming fiscal year during the budget process? And if there is a funding shortfall, how do you propose to remedy that? That's 90 seconds for you.
Well, first off, yes, I did vote for the lowering of the BPT. And if you look at what the finances are now as when it came through, we did not see a reduction in the amount of revenues coming in. Why is because now that money that was supposed to have been paid for taxes went out to buy more stuff, more items. So there was more revenue. The money continues to circulate. So, you know, even at that, I have a proposal that will be able to reduce taxes even further for our people so that we can lower the cost of living and the standards that we have. I think that we still have that room to be able to do this while providing the services that our people should expect and do expect from the government.
And in providing budgets for every agencies, as long as you take a look at what the agencies are requesting for, how is it aligned with their strategic plans? How are they carrying out their mission? How much money are they using? What are they doing to innovate, modernize, and digitize? How are they instilling cost-saving measures? Then we can identify also what their lapses are so that we can identify and provide more funding to the critical agencies that need them.
Thank you very much, Doc. Okay, let's give a minute and a half with the same topic. What is your plan to ensure critical GovGuam agencies are not shortchanged in the upcoming fiscal year? And if there is a funding shortfall, how do you propose to remedy that?
Well, as you know, this year we started performance-based budgeting, and a couple of agencies have already gone through that process. Parks and Rec is one of them, and DPW. We just need to continue to ensure that our agencies are spending within their budgets. And sometimes what gets the government into trouble is when we start doing this carryover of lapsed funds. And that is the problem. As long as we can start staying within the revenue, the budgeted revenues for that department and agency, then we'll be able to keep that agency in a line and keep our budget on track. However, these things need to be really scrutinized, and it takes leadership to ensure that every department and agency performs within the budget that they've been given. And that's where streamlining and the process of digitalization and moving forward with technology helps to come in.
Yeah, I think the mindset of our administration is going to be about efficiency. And there is still clearly waste, abuse, and fraud in the government and agencies. You see $33,000 water bills at EPAL Beach from DPR. You see lapses all over the government that should be run more efficiently. So if we ensure that budgets are allocated appropriately and managed, I think we'll be able to take on any shortfall and be just fine. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Very well done on that topic. All right, please stay tuned, everybody, because when we come back, we will propose more questions to the candidates about what they want to do to answer your concerns. That's coming up right after this.
Before business, before public office, before years of community leadership, Tony Atta answered the call to serve. As a young man, he proudly served in the United States Army. He learned discipline, responsibility, and the importance of putting mission and country before self. After returning home, Tony and Annette built a family together, raising children, building the family business, living the same hopes and challenges faced by families across Guam. His commitment to service never ended. For years, Tony Atta has worked to strengthen our island, support our families, and help move Guam forward, always guided by the same values he learned in uniform. Service isn't something Tony Atta did. It's who he has been his entire life. Tony Atta for governor.
I'm Tony Atta. I ask for your vote for governor, so together we can put Guam first. I approve this message.
Half a day. I'm Lily Guerrero with over 30 years experience with Department of Labor. I'm running to bring honest leadership and real solutions. My priorities are stronger economy, better education for our children, and safer communities with strong public safety and emergency services. I'd be honored to earn your vote. So do some Aussie. I'm Lillian Guerrero, number 10 on the ballot, and I approve this message.
Housing costs are high everywhere. Rent is higher, home ownership feels farther away, and too many families are asking, can we afford to stay on Guam? But the dream is simple, a place of your own, a home where your children can grow up right here on Guam. Just years ago, Guam wasn't in a position to build. Guam's finances were on the brink, and so we stabilized. We restored fiscal credibility, and we secured the resources to act. Because of that work, hundreds of homes have been built, and hundreds more are on the way, including housing for working and middle-income families. For young families starting out, housing is about building safe communities and supporting families right here at home. Together, we're building a better Guam for everyone to grow and thrive.
I'm Josh Tenorio.
And I'm Tina, and we approved this message.
Guam's economy is growing. Millions of federal and military buildup dollars are being invested in our island. Frank Blas Jr. and Dr. Mary Okada have a simple belief.
The best jobs on Guam should go to the people of Guam.
Their plan expands workforce training, apprenticeships, and industry certifications so local residents can compete for high-skill, high-pay careers in construction, healthcare, technology, skilled trades, and defense industries. And they know Guam cannot depend on one industry alone. That's why the Blas Okada administration will grow and diversify our economy, strengthening tourism and hospitality, maximizing military opportunities, and attracting new manufacturing and technology investments that create year-round jobs and long-term economic security. More local jobs, higher wages, more opportunities for our families to build their future right here at home.
Let's invest in our people and build an economy that works for Guam.
Because Guam's future should be built by the people who call Guam home.
Paid for by Friends for Frank and Mary. Peter L.G., Treasurer.
Off a day, everybody, and welcome back to KUAM's Gubernatorial Forum here from the beautiful Encore Theater at the gorgeous Crown Plaza Resort, Guam, the home of the Magic of Anthony Reed right here on Tumon Bay. Now, a couple more issues have been on my colleagues' minds in the newsroom, so each gubernatorial team from the Republican Party of Guam has 90 seconds to respond to these questions, and of course, we start with the Adelup team. Gentlemen, updates from Washington detail the federal government's intention to deploy over $900 million to our island for the construction of missile defense systems and possibly micronuclear reactors in an effort to strengthen the military's posture locally. Community leaders even voiced the adverse effects this buildup has had and will continue to have on our island's housing market, utility grids, and cultural preservation. Our question is, what will your administration do differently to work with military partners to ensure their accountability and not only seriously consider local opinion, but integrate it into any further development plans? Gentlemen, you have 90 seconds.
Well, we still need to continue working with our military partners, but more importantly, we need to work with Washington. We need to have that open communication with Department of War. We need to have that open communication with the congressmen in their office. Now, you know, when we move forward and we try to get a seat at the table, it is important that they give us that seat, because what's happening here on Guam, 7,000 miles away in D.C., should not make that decision without us. We need to be sure that we have an active voice, a heard voice, and a voting voice in what goes on, whether it's going to be this continuation of this military defense system or even that micronuclear technology that they're talking about. We need to always be included in those type of discussions, and we're going to be open to ensuring that that happens.
Yeah, I'd like to address the housing issue that we're having on Guam. It's a housing shortage, and the demand caused by the military buildup is not really the problem. It's that we're not producing new homes quick enough. The previous administration saw a construction boom in close to 3,000 new homes, but as of lately, it's been a lot slower, and therefore you're going to see prices continue to rise until we turn up the development of new homes, and we are going to do that in our administration by streamlining the permitting process, by working with the private sector, by working with CLTC and our government, and we will start turning out more new homes than ever in the history of Guam.
Thank you, gentlemen. Very well done. To the Blas Okada team, same question. What will your administration do differently to work with military partners, ensuring accountability and considering local opinion, integrating it into any future development plans? 90 seconds, please.
Well, you just said the answer actually in the question. We work with our military partners. We work with the people. We work with the community. I think one of the things that has been lacking, has been missing in this whole conversation is having a conversation with the community along with our military partners, with the Department of War, with Congress, and with the White House. And so it's having this open communication and collaboration that you can be able to address many of the concerns because, yes, you know, one of the things we've learned, both Mary and I, out of sight, out of mind. If 8,000 miles away in Washington, D.C., making decisions for us, we've got to have a constant presence. We've got to make sure that this presence is relevant to what we see here and what we're going to need. You want to answer that?
In 2010, Guam convened the Civilian Military Task Force. There's nothing to stop us from having conversations within government agencies as to the impact on our various organizations in concert with the military and provide those reports and that conversations to everyone in Washington, D.C. But we need to come together, have a collective voice, provide what the opportunities are, identify solutions, identify challenges, and face it head on in collaboration with the military.
All right, very well. And let's stay with the Blas Okada team. And let's talk about some artificial intelligence topics now. It's a hotly debated topic, clearly, and proponents of AI call it a tool that streamlines productivity, while those who are against it argue it takes away local jobs and destroys the environment. Now, we should note several candidates have even used AI in their campaign ads and flyers this election season. So how will your administration regulate the usage of artificial intelligence in GovGuam while maintaining trust and accountability?
Well, I think that one of the first things we have to recognize with the AI is that it's absent the human connection. It's absent the human emotion, the feeling. And that's very important in communications. Mary and I are going to run an administration, excuse me, that has communication, that talks to people. And you can't do that with AI. While you can use AI to be able to do some of the research, you don't necessarily want to use that to be able to put what you want in meaning and to present it as what your stance is. You've got to have that key human connection.
And AI can be used as we do in higher education. We establish a policy. What is the policy for use of AI? And use it responsibly. So organizations that use AI should have the guiding principles. What are the rules and recommendations associated with using AI? How can it benefit us? What are the challenges associated with using AI? And use it responsibly. Thank you.
Thank you very much. To the Ada Calvo team, how will your administration regulate the use of AI in GovGuam while maintaining trust and accountability? 90 seconds, please.
I think it's obvious that AI will have a bigger impact on the world than probably any technology that we've seen in recent history. And we cannot be left behind. We need to upgrade our certification. We need to ensure that we have professionals within the government of Guam, just like the private sector has been working to upgrade and improve their efficiencies. I believe we can do this, and it's going to be a high priority for our administration to ensure that there's accountability when it comes to AI. The word is responsible use, and I think we can say we never use AI in our spot, so we do it responsibly. Do you have anything else?
You know, I believe AI is a great tool that can be utilized to help streamline process, and as long as it's done responsibly and it's done with integrity, then I believe that moving forward and ensuring that AI, whether we realize it or not, AI is going to be a part of the future. So we need to learn how to put in the regulations, put in the rules, make sure that AI is used properly and that we are moving forward with it, but in technologies that's not going to, in ways that it's not going to take away the human factor. Because the human factor is always needed no matter what. And AI can be in the processes where it's just technology alone.
All right, candidates, thank you once again for the wonderful responses to our questions. We are going to take another commercial break, everybody, but we have more questions from the community when we return right after this. Please stay with us.
For many years, our children have graduated without a clear path forward. Too many of our best and brightest had to leave the island just to find opportunity. That changes now. Frank Blas Jr. and Dr. Mary Okada have a focused plan to restore hope and opportunity, starting with education.
At GCC, I saw firsthand what happens when education is built around real opportunity.
Train here, work here, stay here.
Because our talent belongs on this island.
Paid for by Friends for Frank and Mary. Peter LG, Treasurer.
When families feel safe, communities grow stronger. Senator Chris Duenas passed the Malig Act to put more officers on our streets and confront the meth crisis hurting too many of our people. He led efforts to expand affordable housing through the additional dwelling unit and advanced nitrate bills. And now he is authoring his second balanced budget that protect essential services while supporting private sector jobs. Steady leadership, real results. Re-elect Chris Duenas. He's focused, balanced, and ready.
I'm Chris Duenas, and I approve this message.
Tony and I got married at an early age, and back then, we didn't have much. But from the very beginning, Tony was determined to create a better future for our family. Shortly after we were married, Tony joined the Army, and we moved to our first duty station at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Those weren't always easy years, but they taught us the importance of sacrifice, faith, and commitment. What I've always admired about my husband is that he's the same person at home that people see in the public. He's honest, he's humble, and he genuinely cares about people. He's a devoted husband, a loving father, and a proud grandfather. Tony and I have been together for 43 years, and I've been blessed to stand beside him through every chapter of our lives. I'm Annette Umpinko Ada, and I humbly ask for your support and vote for my husband, Tony Ada, for Governor of Guam.
I'm Tony Ada, and I approve this message. Together, we'll put Guam first.
Happy Day Guam. I'm Kiara with the Pacific Daily News, and today I'm with senatorial candidate Ralphie Scambilleri. Ralphie, you've spent decades serving Guam in many different ways. After all these years, why are you running for senator?
Happy Day Guam, and could I address you by Kiki?
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much. I've been blessed to spend most of my life in service to the people of Guam, whether through law enforcement, the community service, mentoring to the youth, and simple helping people. But service doesn't end when a career does. Today I see families struggling with the rising costs, concerns about a drug epidemic, and uncertainties about our future. I'm running for senator because I believe my experience, my value, and my commitment to Guam can still make a difference. I spent a lifetime putting service before self, and I'm ready to continue serving the people of Guam. I'm Ralphie Scambilleri, and I respectfully ask for your vote for senator. I approve this message.
Hafa and welcome back, everybody, to the first of KUAM's two gubernatorial forums featuring the Republican candidates seeking your endorsement for their quest to Adelup. Of course, we have Tony Ada and EJ Calvo and Frank Blas Jr. and Dr. Mary Okada. We start with the Ada Calvo team for our next round of questions, continuing with questions from my colleagues at KUAM News. Gentlemen, tourism obviously is Guam's #1 economic driver, but visitor arrivals are still below half of their pre-pandemic levels, now a half decade into recovery. Our island's economy has been staying afloat with federal dollars coming in amid the ongoing military buildup, but that spending is expected to hit a wall in a few years' time. Your question, gentlemen, if elected, what specific actions will you take within your first year in office to help the tourism industry recover, and how will you measure your success? 90 seconds, please.
The Ada Calvo administration is going to appoint a chief of tourism and economic development that will report directly to the office of the governor. Along with recommendations from the legislature and together with GVB and all stakeholders, we will champion the completion of the new tourism strategic plan. The chief of tourism will coordinate with every agency that touches tourism in any way to ensure everyone is held accountable and working towards that one vision. We'll leverage resources to invest in our island. We'll get to work immediately to improve the visitor experience by providing cleaner parks, safer roads, cultural experiences, and improve our heritage sites. We will invest in sports tourism, ecotourism, and a growing opportunity in education tourism. We will support our workforce in order to provide the best opportunities for our people and as well as to satisfy the visitor demand. And lastly, we will reboot the brand of Guam and compete aggressively by telling Guam's story and our culture with the world. Using modern marketing techniques, tourism, it's been valuable to our island for generations, and it must be here for generations to come. I believe tourism is the greatest economic opportunity that our island has long-term, and our administration will work not only to recover our tourism industry to pre-pandemic numbers, but we believe that we can bring the industry back on track to reach record highs. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Calvo. Let's now hear from the Blas Okada team. Would you enlighten us, please, on specific actions you will take in your first year in office to help recover our tourism industry, and how will you measure that success? 90 seconds, please.
Well, first off, I didn't wait until I ran for governor to start working on an issue and a problem that everybody has seen has happened over the last few years. As a matter of fact, I commissioned the Guam Experience Committee within the legislature, and with there, I brought a collaboration community in to talk about how we can build our tourism industry, how we need to rebrand. And I think that as a result of just yesterday's hearing with the Guam Visitors Bill, it's really obvious that we need to change what we're doing. If you do the same things over and over again, but expect a different result, you're not going to get anywhere. We need to change that out. And so I'm working on legislation right now to build what is called the Guam Experience Authority, where it brings the collaboration, it brings our businesses, our community together, so that the brand that we sell, the brand that we present to the world is a brand that's unique to Guam. And it's a brand that will bring people here. But it's also a brand that will involve our community, will involve our stakeholders, will involve our businesses. And we do this because what you're seeing is what the tourists will go where the locals go. And if the locals don't want to go, don't expect tourists to come. And so what we want to do is build that so that we do have a product that we can be proud of, it's unique, and it's presented to the world.
Very well, thank you very much. We're going to stay with the Blas Okada team for our next question. The GovGuam procurement process has received much criticism for how much of a delay and bottleneck that it tends to cause, from the delayed Simon Sanchez project to line agencies getting basic supplies on time, with many line agencies going on record for senators during oversight hearings saying the item is, quote, always currently with GSA. So here's the question. How do you plan to address this issue, and how will you work with the 39th legislature to introduce legislation that would refine the government's procurement process?
The government procurement process that was used at the Guam Community College is the same government procurement process used in other entities. We were able to build buildings. We were able to purchase equipment. We were able to buy sustainable PV. We were able to secure PV for our facilities. We were able to buy energy efficient cars. It is all in the planning process. If you know when you need the procurement, you need to backwards plan so that you don't wait until the funding is expiring before you execute what is a scope of work necessary for you to carry out your mission. So it's in the planning process. Giving also, one of the other things I learned at GDOE was indefinite quantities. When you bid out indefinite quantities for your regular paper towels, Post-it notes, staplers, etc., you're pulling off of a bid that has already been vetted and done. That provides efficiencies. You train individuals on a regular basis, all those that touch the procurement system. You provide, one of the things we can ask the legislature to do is to create these modularized modules, procurement modules. Here's how we're going to fast track procurement for equipment type A's or buildings, etc. And so those are things we can do, is to modularize and provide best practices so that we can learn from each other and execute what we are supposed to do.
Dr. Okada, thank you very much. To the Alva Calvo team now, how do you plan to address the procurement process within the government of Guam?
Well, lately what we've been doing, Jason, is giving the agencies their procurement authority, and we've raised their purchases with procurement. And I think what we should do is actually look at how is it that every agency can take care of their small purchases, maybe $100,000 and below or $150,000 and below, and let DPW take care of the procurement for buildings and those types of contracts. But what's happening with GSA is that they get boggled down with all these procurements because they handle procurement for the entire government of Guam. So they only have perhaps maybe 2 or 3 buyers, if at most, and how many folks that they have reviewing these procurement requests. And it starts to back up, and they don't have the ability to move those process forward. And like I said, as long as we give the different agencies the authority to do because right now they only have 25,000, and that's not even enough. You get 5 cases of water and a couple of other things, and by the time you know it, you already reached the $25,000 limit. You need to go a little bit higher and let the agencies take care of the smaller items and let the GSA handle the larger procurement purchases.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Speaker. Well done to the both teams. Do stay tuned, everybody, because we have community questions from some of our special interest groups. They will get direct FaceTime with the Republican candidate teams seeking your endorsement as they intend to pursue the gubernatorial race. That's coming up right after this.
Giving solace, bringing stability. In my 64 years, there are people I've known that have passed away, and there's been Tony that has been there to comfort the family and the loved ones, sometimes the most difficult times of their lives. He could better this community as a public servant, but bring people together, even people with divergent thoughts and philosophies, but in the end, bringing enough comfort, enough stability to a situation that there's a consensus and then resolution and progress then is made. So, I'm so excited. I've seen what a great job Tony's done now back in the legislature. But I do believe that with him as governor, that ability to bring people together, to bring folks even with different perspectives together, it's what this island needs. God bless Adelup 2026. God bless Guam.
I'm Tony Ada, and I approve this message.
Guam's economy is growing. Millions of federal and military buildup dollars are being invested in our island. Frank Blas Jr. and Dr. Mary Okada have a simple belief.
The best jobs on Guam should go to the people of Guam.
Their plan expands workforce training, apprenticeships, and industry certifications so local residents can compete for high-skill, high-pay careers in construction, healthcare, technology, skilled trades, and defense industries. And they know Guam cannot depend on one industry alone. That's why the Blas Okada administration will grow and diversify our economy, strengthening tourism and hospitality, maximizing military opportunities, and attracting new manufacturing and technology investments that create year-round jobs and long-term economic security. More local jobs, higher wages, more opportunities for our families to build their future right here at home.
Let's invest in our people and build an economy that works for Guam.
Because Guam's future should be built by the people who call Guam home.
Paid for by Friends for Frank and Mary. Peter LG, Treasurer.
When I look at Guam, I see the foundation we're building for the next generation. That's why, as your senator, I've worked to get new and emerging industries off the ground. These include laws that allow for small enterprises like cottage businesses, home kitchen catering, medicinal cannabis, bed and breakfast, all the way to industrial scale businesses such as cruise liners, transshipment, Guam-based filmmaking, and more to take root here. All of these efforts are to nurture the God-given talent of our people, create jobs, and by extension, expand our tax base in order to provide valuable government services. I'm Tina Rose Munoz Barnes, and I've spent my life building for Guam, and I'm ready to lead our next chapter. Let's keep building together.
I'm Josh Tenorio.
And I'm Tina, and we approve this message.
Off a day, everybody. Welcome back to KUAM's first of 2 gubernatorial forums. We are coming to you once again from the Encore Theater here at the Crown Plaza Resort, Guam. I'm going to go to the floor right now where one of my colleagues, Matsuki Hirayama, has our first community question from some of these special interest groups that are joining us this evening for the Republican gubernatorial teams. Hi, Matsuki.
Test.
Can everyone hear me? Mic test, half a day. So first up, we have President Catherine Castro with the Guam Chamber of Commerce. Catherine, your question?
Thank you very much. My question is, what are two greatest barriers preventing private sector investment on Guam today, and what actions would you take within your first 2 years to remove them?
Okay, so Tony Atta and EJ Calvo. And Kathy, would you mind repeating that, please? This Vice Speaker's asking.
What are two greatest barriers preventing private sector investment on Guam today, and what actions would you take within your first 2 years to remove them?
I think the greatest barrier that local investment into our island is the permitting process. And I think that's what is holding everything back, because when an investor comes to the island, what happens is that they're brought here and then they say, oh, everything is great. Then once they start going through the process of going through the permitting and trying to, whether they're going to build a building or they're going to start opening a store somewhere, it takes months, if not months, up to a year for them to get their permits. In the meantime, they're already paying rent on either the property or on the building itself. And that discourages a lot of folks from moving forward. I know that, there's legislations that are being introduced to expedite the permitting process, but in a Adelup Calvo administration, we're gonna get that one-stop center implemented. We're gonna move forward with it, and we're gonna ensure that when documents get submitted, there's going to be live tracking on it so that you know exactly where your documents are, whether it's for permits or if it's stuck at DPW, how long has it been there, what's the status on it. So that's where all this technology is going to come in so that we can ensure it's a streamlined process for anyone who wants to invest on Guam, or even just our local folks who wants to ensure that they can open up a store and not worry about the permitting process.
All right, Frank Blas Jr. and Dr. Mary Okada, 90 seconds to you on that question.
Well, first it starts with somebody answering the phone. Okay, just today I had spoken with an individual who called my office from stateside and says, can you give me the number that from revenue tax that they'll pick up? And so it starts with first the communication that they want to provide to the government itself to find out what these processes are. And then when you do get the phone, it's being able to help them through the process. That's what government's role should be. So that we're not the stymie, we're not the individuals, we're not the entities that stop the growth of business on Guam. Just pick up the phone and help these individuals. Secondly, again, like I said, I didn't wait to run for governor to be able to do this. I've got stop clock legislation that would provide the opportunity for business. The government has got 90 days to be able to work on a permitting process, and if it doesn't happen, there's a conditional approval of that permit so that the businesses can continue to work on building it up, and then when and it doesn't stop any of the processes from continuing. You want to add?
And then in addition to that, the government should provide a timeline and where the process is so that any individual applying for a permit or a license knows where it is in the process, what hiccups occur so that they can complete.
Thank you, Doctor. All right, and thank you, Kathy. Thank you to our friends at the Guam Chamber of Commerce. Matsuki, who you got next?
And up next, we have the organization Gala. So this is Hannah Mendiola. She's a program coordinator for Gala. Your question?
So Zeus Masi to everyone for your time today. It sounds like both teams are ready to address community concerns. And I wanted to ask, what concerns have you observed from the LGBT plus community, and how do you plan to address them?
And let's start with the Blas Okada team.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? And closer to the mic.
Okay. So what concerns do you plan to meet and address for the LGBT plus community?
Well, first off, one of the things that I'm glad here on Guam is we're a very inviting and we're a very welcoming community. Okay, just on Sunday, Mary and I were at the Pride event, the 2 month to be able to share in the joy. Because it's not a matter of, it's you are a person, no matter what. And we have to treat that with respect. And we want to make sure that continues here. None of the stuff that you see back in the mainland or other places can we tolerate. That's not our culture. That's not our community. And we want to make sure that's inclusive and that you feel comfortable in who you are.
And Guam, as an inclusive society, should recognize and embrace those that choose to live a different lifestyle. We should embrace that. We should identify and speak to them about their concerns and provide some support to them as they go through their transitions even. But we should be supportive of individuals, all individuals that call Guam home.
All right, thank you to the Adelup team now.
You know, concerns here, one thing about being here on Guam is that we're all so loving and caring to each other. And I think that's one thing that the United States, you know, the U.S. mainland, we know everyone here. We have families that, you know, have, we know our families are part of it, right? So do we have concerns? I think the only concern that we should have is that we continue to embrace each other. We continue to love each other. You know, we continue to be there for one another, because no matter what, it's still my brother, still my sister, still my cousin, still my relative, still my friend. And I don't treat anyone any different than how I treat anyone of my family. Everyone here we're so united. We have different political views. Sure, absolutely. Do we have different views? But when it comes down to just us being people, nowhere else can you find greater love than here on Guam.
Yes, I'd like to add that within our administration, everyone will be treated equally and fairly. And I believe that what matters is the character of the individual and not necessarily what sexual preference they have. So I think that's been part of our culture and part of our community, and why we're so strong and proud. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, well done once again, and thank you to our community guests. We're going to get a couple more guests lined up for you, and please stay tuned, because when we come back, more of your community questions when the Gubernatorial Forum returns.
For many years, our children have graduated without a clear path forward. Too many of our best and brightest had to leave the island just to find opportunity. That changes now. Frank Blas Jr. and Dr. Mary Okada have a focused plan to restore hope and opportunity, starting with education.
At GCC, I saw firsthand what happens when education is built around real opportunity.
Train here, work here, stay here.
Because our talent belongs on this island.
Paid for by Friends for Frank and Mary. Peter LG, Treasurer.
When families feel safe, communities grow stronger. Senator Chris Duenas passed the Malik Act to put more officers on our streets and confront the meth crisis hurting too many of our people. He led efforts to expand affordable housing through the additional dwelling unit and advanced nitrate bills. And now he is authoring his second balanced budget that protect essential services while supporting private sector jobs. Steady leadership, real results. Re-elect Chris Duenas. He's focused, balanced, and ready.
I'm Chris Duenas, and I approve this message.
Before business, before public office, before years of community leadership, Tony Atta answered the call to serve. As a young man, he proudly served in the United States Army. He learned discipline, responsibility, and the importance of putting mission and country before self. After returning home, Tony and Annette built a family together, raising children, building the family business, living the same hopes and challenges faced by families across Guam. His commitment to service never ended. For years, Tony Atta has worked to strengthen our island, support our families, and help move Guam forward, always guided by the same values he learned in uniform. Service isn't something Tony Atta did. It's who he has been his entire life. Tony Atta for governor.
I'm Tony Atta. I ask for your vote for governor, so together we can put Guam first. I approve this message.
Housing costs are high everywhere. Rent is higher, home ownership feels farther away, and too many families are asking, can we afford to stay on Guam? But the dream is simple, a place of your own, a home where your children can grow up right here on Guam. Just years ago, Guam wasn't in a position to build. Guam's finances were on the brink, and so we stabilized. We restored fiscal credibility, and we secured the resources to act. Because of that work, hundreds of homes have been built, and hundreds more are on the way, including housing for working and middle-income families. For young families starting out, housing is about building safe communities and supporting families right here at home. Together, we're building a better Guam for everyone to grow and thrive.
I'm Josh Tenorio.
And I'm Tina, and we approve this message.
Half a day. I'm Lily Guerrero, with over 30 years experience with Department of Labor. I'm running to bring honest leadership and real solutions. My priorities are stronger economy, better education for our children, and safer communities with strong public safety and emergency services. I'd be honored to earn your vote. So do some Aussie. I'm Lillian Guerrero, number 10 on the ballot, and I approve this message.
Hafade, and welcome back to KUAM's Gubernatorial Forum, featuring the teams from the Republican Party of Guam, of course, Tony Atta and his running mate, E.J. Calvo, and Frank Blas Jr., and his running mate, Dr. Mary Okada. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know we're all old enough here on stage to remember that very, very wonderful song lyric, I believe the children are the future. Let them lead the way. Go something like that. Don't even ask me to sing, because we're not going there. But the youth are important, and they literally are the next generation that could possibly be on the stage. Maybe another 10 years and everything. So we wanted to give the youth, especially graduating seniors who will vote in essentially their first election, the chance to raise their voice. And Matsuki is on the floor right now with some very exceptional young people.
First up, we have Miss Gabriella Calvo. She's a recent graduate of Notre Dame High School. Gabriella, your question?
Holiday candidates. As a recent high school graduate, I would like to highlight how many students choose to leave the island to pursue or to further their education, whether it's in college, trade school, or through the military. They choose to do it in the mainland. So I was wondering what would you do to encourage the young people to stay on island and to build their futures here? Or what would you do to encourage them to come back to the island if they do leave?
Okay, Tony Atta and E.J. Calvo, interesting question there. You have 90 seconds, please.
Yeah, thank you for that question. You know, my daughter as well graduated high school and went off to college in the States. And it wasn't because that's where she wanted to go. It's the field that she wanted to wasn't available here in Guam. And that's as well as my son. You know, he wanted to become an engineer. And back when he graduated from college, there wasn't any engineering school. So Guam is turning now and looking at trades and professions that are geared towards our local workforce, and how is it that we can continue to train locally our kids and in fields that are available here locally. As long as we continue to do that and work with ensuring that we're graduating these young individuals into trades that they be able to, right after graduation, get a job and start their careers. But what they need to do is ensure that they have those jobs that they can move forward with.
I just want to add that it's important, especially if students leave island, that they want to come home and that we have the economic opportunities here. And Tony and I have an economic plan that will turn things around, not only save our tourism industry, but diversify and provide for better paying jobs. And that's really what will attract our talent pool to come home or stay home and build a career here like you asked. Thank you.
And you know, my son did return. He's an environmental engineer right here on Guam.
Thank you, gentlemen. Frank Blas Jr. and Dr. Mary Okada, your thoughts?
First of all, there are many programs that is offered by the Guam Community College, the University of Guam, and the Trades Academy that provide for skilled training here on island. The two higher institutions are accredited, so we have the same accreditation that is available across the United States. So if individuals want to pursue their education, they should first consider attending an accredited organization here on Guam. We recognize that there are some trades that are not available. There are programs that GCC offers for in 10 medical areas where we provided the tuition assistance through the WICHE PSEP program so that they can go off island with and get their training and come back to Guam to provide service on Guam. So that's an opportunity. So individuals, we would hope that the Guam Department of Education and all the private schools continue to engage with the institutions of higher education so we can begin their careers as early as high school so that they can start getting internships, work experience, so that they have a feel for the occupation that they're going into. And if they stay on Guam, then they don't necessarily have to absorb that high cost of student debt.
And how would you like to be able to graduate from high school with an AA degree? That's possible, and we're going to work on that as well.
All right, thank you very much.
And we have our next youth ambassador. He's a recent graduate of Father Dueñas.
Half a day, my name is Dana Pangilinan. Thank you for having me here. And with a tropical storm coming up, this caused a lot of anxiety for the youth. And how will your administration involve young people in disaster preparation efforts? And what mental health support will you provide after a typhoon?
Okay, Frank Blas Jr. and Dr. Mary Okada on the subject of mental health and disaster preparation.
Well, first off, Dano, congratulations. You know, Dano used to work for me in my office, but it's right up my alley. And I think that one of the things that we tend to forget is, you know, the mental health stress that is related to it, not just this disaster, but any other disaster. Anything where it's very difficult to be able to get with social media. But I know that as well, you know, there are many programs that we can implement so that we can get you to, I don't want to say distracted, but involved to be able to help the community and help your peers to be able to walk through and to get through these disasters. That's very necessary because as we had seen in San Laco, and I appreciate a lot of the help that we got from the young generation, from the young folks, people that were coming from high school straight to the disaster center to be able to help. They found purpose and they found reason to be able to want to continue to be able to help the island get through this disaster and help our neighbors get through the disasters as well. So we're going to continue to work on programs such as that.
In addition to that, it's not just disasters that you need social, emotional help. At the community college, we provided social, emotional support through nonprofit organizations to our employees and students, because when they are a little calmer or they get the support, they can study.
Thank you very much. Mr. Adam, Mr. Calvo, your thoughts, 90 seconds.
It's a good question, but I'll tell you, just like in the private sector, recovery starts with better preparation. So our set up what we call the resilience plan. And you can check out adacalvo.com, and it's posted there as part of our platform. And we experienced the last typhoon just like you and thought, why are we having to learn things over and over and not take action well in advance of any storm or natural disaster? We need to harden our infrastructure. There are federal funds, there's all the expertise in the world, but yet we still have the same issues with water, power, generator shortage after a storm. So we need to work immediately to prepare for the future because there will be more storms, as we know. We also need to have better communications and ensure that our communications is up and running because that's everything when it comes to responding after a storm. And we know that there's been shutdowns of towers and again, generator issues. We also talk to the fuel companies, and there really is no additional storage outside of the port. And if we lost that fuel supply, cars will just be pulling over on the side of the road. And again, generators won't turn on. So we need to set this up and prepare ourselves better than we ever have before, because Guam should be the experts of dealing with natural disasters. And we feel like there's a lot of improvement that we will make as soon as we take office. Thank you.
You know, what we learned from COVID in mental health issues, we need to expand on it and make sure we do a better job in the
That is your time. Thank you.
All right, up next we have Ms. Joanne. Again, she's with the Guam Realtors Association. Joanne, your question?
Buenas, Hafade. Would you support limits or conditions on government incentives for housing projects that do not include affordable units? If yes, how would you address this?
Okay, Tony Atta and EJ Calvo. And Joanne, would you mind repeating that question once more, please?
Would you support limits or conditions on government incentives for housing projects that do not include affordable units? If yes, how will you address this?
Yes, what we got to do is ensure that anytime there's going to be an incentive for projects of affordable housing of that sort, we got to make sure that it's going to be done the right way, right? And we got to make sure that it's going to be beneficial to those that are looking for affordable housing. The incentive part is going to be a difficult thing to really work on. I mean, I'm the chair for housing, and I have several pieces of legislation that we're going to look at to put the incentives on the homeowner, on the buyer, right? And that's like income to debt ratio. We want to increase the income to debt ratio from 41 to 45%. We want to look at lease to own, where you be able to go back now and you're leasing a house for a certain amount of time. Then you would be able to start putting some of that monthly payments that you're paying on rent and be able to have that as a down payment for the house that you're already staying in. So those types of incentives, I believe, are going to be more beneficial to the homeowner and to those that are looking for a place that they want to call home.
We're short on time, so I'll just let you know that we have a Homes First plan within our platform, also available online at adacalvo.com. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Mr. Blas, Dr. Okada, your thoughts?
Well, can you repeat the question, ma'am? I'm sorry.
Would you support limits or conditions on government incentives for housing projects that do not include affordable units? If yes, how will you address this?
Well, first off, I think one of the great ways to be able to deal with our housing shortage, especially for the missing middle, those individuals that don't make too much money to be able to get the public assistance, okay, and not enough money to be able to afford to build their own homes, okay, without any financial worry. So if we have a business, a construction industry, or construction cooperative that will be able to provide those kind of housing projects, those building of those homes, so that it can help to reduce their costs and increase their margins, so that it becomes a viable thing, a viable effort to be able to provide these homes. We've got to look at those things, as well as looking at other incentives that we can provide, the incentives that we can provide to the homeowners themselves, vis-a-vis whether it be tax credit or mortgage credit, or self-help or cooperative helps. There are many programs that we're going to be able to look at, we need to look at, so that we can deal with our housing shortage and the crisis that we have on Guam.
And I would say that we would invite the Guam Realtors Association to the conversation to help us identify what opportunities may exist and what provisions may be included, so that we do provide adequate support for those individuals that would like to build a home.
Candidates, thank you very much for your responses. And thank you to our friends at the Guam Association of Realtors and to our youth ambassadors. Well done, everyone. More is coming up after the break, everybody. Please stay tuned. You're watching KUAM's Gubernatorial Forum.
Guam's economy is growing. Millions of federal and military buildup dollars are being invested in our island. Frank Blas Jr. and Dr. Mary Okada have a simple belief.
The best jobs on Guam should go to the people of Guam.
Their plan expands workforce training, apprenticeships, and industry certifications so local residents can compete for high-skill, high-pay careers in construction, healthcare, technology, skilled trades, and defense industries. And they know Guam cannot depend on one industry alone. That's why the Blas Okada administration will grow and diversify our economy, strengthening tourism and hospitality, maximizing military opportunities, and attracting new manufacturing and technology investments that create year-round jobs and long-term economic security. More local jobs, higher wages, more opportunities for our families to build their future right here at home.
Let's invest in our people and build an economy that works for Guam.
Because Guam's future should be built by the people who call Guam home.
Paid for by Friends for Frank and Mary. Peter LG, Treasurer.
When families feel safe, communities grow stronger. Senator Chris Duenas passed the Malig Act to put more officers on our streets and confront the meth crisis hurting too many of our people. He led efforts to expand affordable housing through the additional dwelling unit and advanced nitrate bills. And now he is authoring his second balanced budget that protect essential services while supporting private sector jobs. Steady leadership, real results. Re-elect Chris Duenas. He's focused, balanced, and ready.
I'm Chris Duenas, and I approve this message.
Tony and I got married at an early age, and back then, we didn't have much. But from the very beginning, Tony was determined to create a better future for our family. Shortly after we were married, Tony joined the Army, and we moved to our first duty station at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Those weren't always easy years, but they taught us the importance of sacrifice, faith, and commitment. What I've always admired about my husband is that he's the same person at home that people see in the public. He's honest, he's humble, and he genuinely cares about people. He's a devoted husband, a loving father, and a proud grandfather. Tony and I have been together for 43 years, and I've been blessed to stand beside him through every chapter of our lives. I'm Annette Ompinko Ada, and I humbly ask for your support and vote for my husband, Tony Ada, for Governor of Guam.
I'm Tony Ada, and I approve this message. Together, we'll put Guam first.
Happy Day, Guam. I'm Kiara with the Pacific Daily News, and today I'm with senatorial candidate Ralphie Scambilleri. Ralphie, you've spent decades serving Guam in many different ways. After all these years, why are you running for senator?
Happy Day, Guam, and could I address you by Tiki?
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much. I've been blessed to spend most of my life in service to the people of Guam, whether through law enforcement, the community service, mentoring to the youth, and simple helping people. But service doesn't end when a career does. Today, I see families struggling with the rising costs, concerns about a drug epidemic, and uncertainties about our future. I'm running for senator because I believe my experience, my value, and my commitment to Guam can still make a difference. I spent a lifetime putting service before self, and I'm ready to continue serving the people of Guam. I'm Ralphie Scambilleri, and I respectfully ask for your vote for senator. I approve this message.
We are back at KUAM's Gubernatorial Forum, everybody. The first of two forums that we will have. Stay tuned and make sure to check out our social media for the next forum, and you will want to make sure to stream that and watch that as well. We have covered a great many topics, and Metsuki has another guest who is going to bring another island issue for our guests.
All right, now we have Ms. Maria Hernandez. She's the co-executive director with the Micronesia Climate Change Alliance.
Sizus Masi, KUAM, for having us, and Hafa-Day candidates. So MCCA is a grassroots organization. We uplift community-led solutions to the climate crisis. So we wanted to speak tonight on the ways climate change compounds existing challenges that we face in Guam, including more typhoons, unchecked military expansion, aging infrastructure, threats to our island's primary water source. So as we've seen in the last year, there have been unprecedented cuts in both funding and personnel in local and national programs that protect our environmental, cultural, and social programs that elevate our working class families. So how will environmental justice and community-led solutions be central to your policy decisions and budget priorities? Sitos Masi.
Thank you, Maria. Let's start with Tony Ada and EJ Calvo on the topic of environmental justice. 90 seconds, please, gentlemen.
I think it's important that we continue to support our local environmental protection agency and to ensure that projects that the military does have here is going through the process to ensure that whatever we are doing, whether it be on shore or on land, that it's done the right way. We don't have the opportunity to go back and correct things. We have to make sure that when we do it right the first time, then I think everything else will just fall into place. It's our unique location here on Guam is we don't have that opportunity to just truck in or take out contaminated soil. We just can't truck it out. We have to ship it out. Or if we can't ship it out, what do we do with it here locally? These are the things that are very concerning. And in Ada Calvo administration, we're going to ensure that our local EPA is doing what it can to protect our environment and protect our people.
I'll say transparency and accountability are high priority in our administration. And so as we develop, because like we said earlier, we need more homes for our people, and we need to stabilize the cost of living on this island so that we can prosper and have our future stamped for the future generations. Now, when it comes to environmental protection, we need to develop responsibly. Time's up.
Thank you. Mr. Blas, Dr. Okada, environmental justice, what say you? 90 seconds.
Well, first off, Maria, thank you very much. The MCCA group was an integral part of our disaster response to the CNMI and Chuk. And ma'am, you took on the role responsibly, and thank you very much. But I think also in that exercise, one of the things that we saw is that with collaboration and communication, it starts there. It starts so that we can understand what the issues are from all aspects, from all perspectives. And what the Blas Okada administration will be able to do is to continue that collaboration, that communication that we have with each other, so that we can understand, truly understand, from the perspective of individuals who truly look at this matter, not just from from just this island, but within the region. I know the reach that MCCA has, and I'm very impressed with that. And so we're going to need to be able to work continuously and collaboratively with you so that we can help to address some of the concerns that we're going to have, that we maybe have.
When federal funds are available and it's important to our island, we need to identify what is the risk of not having those federal funds and how do we support the continued activity absent the federal funds, because we need to know what the mitigation looks like. How are we going to plan for it and execute it accordingly? Thank you.
Well done. Matsuki, who you got next?
All right, up next we have our third and final youth ambassador of the night, because of course, as we all know, our youth is our next generation and our future. And so we have Cabrini Teichsnow. She's a recent graduate of KUAM High School.
Hafaday candidates, and thank you for allowing me and my other Spark ambassadors the opportunity to represent the young voices of our island. On the topic of education for the youth, there have been talks that schools may be consolidated or even closed down. If public schools were to consolidate campuses and student bodies, what would your administration do to ensure the quality of education does not hinder the growth of students?
I'm glad I have Dr. Mary Cotta sitting next to me. Ma'am?
So because education is very important for all of our youth, it's important to understand that different types of students require different kinds of support. So it's not just a matter of closing down or consolidating a school. You need to take a look at the complete package of not just the administrative component, but the student component, because students need to learn, and providing the tools necessary for students to learn, our future is going to be very great for us. Student education is a very important role for all of us. We need to continue to support. Our administration, the Blas Okada administration, will keep education at the forefront from P through higher education so that we support all students through their educational journey, through their post-secondary, and also provide opportunities for training so that they can have the necessary jobs available so they can remain on Guam.
I think that, at the end of the day, what we want to do is maximize the resources that we have. And if it means consolidating, then how can we best utilize those areas that are no longer necessary for a classroom? Can it be used by the community? Can it be used by organizations within the community to be able to maximize that space?
All right, thank you. Mr. Adam, Mr. Calvo.
Yeah. Education is absolutely very important, especially to our younger generations. And, all four of my children have went to school and graduated college, so I know the importance that we want to make sure that all children are given that opportunity. I think when you talk about education in schools, perhaps site-based management is one of those things that we need to look at. We need to give the schools back to the community, to the principals, to the teachers, to the parents that school is located in. If you look at what's happening with charter schools and the parochial schools, they have their site-based management. They make the decisions right there at schools. We can ensure that we hold those those administrators in the school accountable for the actions of what happens in the school. Student success rates, student graduation rates, everything can be done where that school is invested in that child in that location.
Yeah, I really hope that the legislature works with Senator Borja on his bill to allow our governor to appoint more of the board of education, because they're really failing the public school system right now. And I think parents and students alike have been outraged to learn that we've returned over $20 million in federal grants without executing and spending it where we need it. And we've lapsed over another $20 million. Now that's money that really needs to get invested in the students, and I think that will result in better education.
That is your time. Thank you both teams, very well done. And thank you, Matsuki. Thank you to our community partners for putting forth those very, very well thought out questions, probing the plans and the strategies of both gubernatorial teams for the Republican Party. Stay tuned, everybody, because the teams will take the stage one last time. And when we come back, we will have closing remarks about why they want to serve you as your gubernatorial team. Please stay tuned.
Off a day. I'm Jesse Michael Anderson Lujan, the proud husband to my beautiful wife, Mary Ann Suyao Lujan, and the loving father to Ryan, Jessica, and Jezreel Sky. I am a proud alumni of the John F. Kennedy High School class of 1973. I studied political science at Grossman College and San Diego State University. While I fell short of completing college, I never stopped gaining knowledge, and I took lessons from the real world and turned that into a lifetime of hard work. And I never stopped believing that experience and perseverance can make a real difference for an individual and the people of Guam. Every day, I carry with me the values that shape my life. And today, I have the honor of serving you as your senator and majority leader for the 38th Guam legislature. Today, I humbly ask you for your continued support and vote as I seek re-election for the 39th Guam legislature. I'm Jesse Michael Anderson Lujan. I'm leading Guam, engaging the world, and I approve this message because Guam deserves a government that clears the way and not stands in it.
Guam is resilient, but today, too many families are being stretched thin. Costs are rising faster than paychecks. Neighborhoods don't feel as safe as they should. Healthcare is harder to access, and for many, opportunity feels just out of reach. That's not the future we should accept. When Guam has faced its hardest moments, Frank Blas Jr. has been there, leading, from guiding recovery after Super Typhoon Pongsonghua, to serving as Guam's first Homeland Security Advisor, to strengthening public safety and emergency preparedness. He's built a career on protecting our people and delivering results when it matters. He understands how to make government respond, act, and serve. Dr. Mary Okada has spent her life expanding opportunity. As a nationally recognized education leader, she has helped thousands of students gain the skills to succeed, whether in the workforce, higher education, or public service. Her work has strengthened Guam's workforce pipeline, supported economic growth, and opened doors for the next generation. She knows that investing in people, education, job training, and community health is how we build a stronger island. Together, they bring proven leadership across the issues that matter most. Safer communities, a stronger, more prepared government, better access to healthcare, real pathways to good-paying jobs, and an economy that works for local families, not against them. They don't just talk about solutions, they've delivered them. This election comes down to one question: who is ready to lead on day one? With a record of service, results, and leadership Guam can trust, Frank Blas Jr. and Mary Okada are ready. Frank Blas Jr. for governor, Dr. Mary Okada for lieutenant governor. Tested, trusted leaders. Ready on day one.
Paid for by friends of Frank and Mary. Peter LG, Treasurer.
When families feel safe, communities grow stronger. Senator Chris Duenas passed the Malig Act to put more officers on our streets and confront the meth crisis hurting too many of our people. He led efforts to expand affordable housing through the additional dwelling unit and advanced nitrate bills. And now he is authoring his second balanced budget that protect essential services while supporting private sector jobs. Steady leadership, real results. Re-elect Chris Duenas. He's focused, balanced, and ready.
I'm Chris Duenas, and I approve this message.
He has that innate talent of even the most difficult times, giving comfort, giving solace, bringing stability. In my 64 years, there are people I've known that have passed away, and there's been Tony that has been there to comfort the family and the loved ones, sometimes the most difficult times of their lives. He could better this community as a public servant, but bring people together, even people with divergent thoughts and philosophies, but in the end, bringing enough comfort, enough stability to a situation that there's a consensus and then resolution and progress that is made. So, I'm so excited. I've seen what a great job Tony's done now back in the legislature, but I do believe that with him as governor, that ability to bring people together, to bring folks even with different perspectives together, it's what this island needs. God bless Adelup 2026. God bless Guam.
I'm Tony Ada, and I approve this message.
We are back, everybody, and we do appreciate you watching, streaming us on social media, on KUAM TV8, on Peacock, on YouTube, on Facebook, and giving us some of your time as the Republican gubernatorial teams have graciously given us some of theirs. And while both teams are still actively on the campaign trail, we would like to extend to them some time for their parting shots about why they deserve your vote when you head to the polls for the primary election on August 1st. And again, by virtue of the fact that they won the coin toss and elected to go first, we will start with Tony Ada and EJ Calvo. And gentlemen, you have 90 seconds for your closing remarks.
People don't expect government to solve all their problems, but they do expect the government to keep their word. And the Ada-Calvo administration will do exactly that. We are ready to get to work. We are ready to put Guam first, and the future is bright with Ada-Calvo at Adelup. Thank you.
This election is arguably one of the most important in our island's history. Guam has overcome every challenge in its history because of the strength of its people. I believe our best chapter is still waiting to be written. EJ and I will bring change, bring hope, and earn your trust. We will restore confidence in our government, with our people, with our federal partners, and with everyone who believes Guam can, once again, become a place of opportunity. We won't measure success by how much the government spends. We'll measure success by the results our people can actually see and feel. We will save tourism and repair our reputation internationally. We will get back those thousands of jobs we lost, and we will get back hundreds of millions missing from our economy on an annual basis. We will improve the quality of life for everyone through better services for our people, modern infrastructure, safer villages, better education systems, and economic development that creates opportunity for all. On August 1st, we humbly ask that you vote Tony Ada and EJ Calvo for Governor and Lieutenant Governor. Thank you. God bless you all.
Gentlemen. Gentlemen, Cesar Posse, well done. And now with their 90-second closing remarks, we have Speaker Frank Blas Jr. and his running mate, Dr. Mary Okada.
Thank you. And as we close, Mary and I would like to leave you with one simple truth. The future we all want, a healthier island, safer island, an affordable and sustainable island, will only be built if we build it together. If we choose to listen, if we choose to work side by side, if we choose to share the load instead of shifting the blame, then there's no limit to what Guam can become. We can create an island where families thrive, where people heal at home, where opportunity is within reach, and where every village feels good about the future we are building. This is our moment to stand together, to shape a Guam that is healthier, safer, and more affordable, more sustainable, and prouder than ever.
As your tested, trusted leaders, this is not our motto, but it is proven performance, a core value, and who we really are. The people of Guam have been asking for tested, trusted leaders in our listening session throughout social media and all other forums. The Blas Okada team is what they are asking for. We are Frank and Mary. We are fam. So as your next governor and your next lieutenant governor, we will continue to deliver to the people of Guam for a better Guam. Please vote August 1st, Blas Okada. Sidus Maasi.
Sidus Maasi. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would please. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the team of Frank Blas Jr. and Mary Okada, and Tony Atta and EJ Calvo. Gentlemen, Doc, thank you so much for your time. Everyone, that is going to do it for KUAM's first gubernatorial forum. We have another forum just like this one featuring the Democrat candidates. All right, everybody, we're going to have another forum just like this one featuring the Democrat gubernatorial candidates right back here at the Encore Theater at the Crown Plaza Resort, the home of the magic of Anthony Reed. That is next Wednesday. Please make sure to check out our social media for the exact dates and times. You've heard from the teams about their ideas to solve the issues we face. I'm Jason Salas. Si Diyos masi to everyone. Thank you, and adios.